This is
Captain Soban of the fleet, Farron Shaw.
We have arrived in Sector 112 and request targeting data.
Hello everyone, this is Captain Soban. Welcome aboard to Starship Enterprise for another episode of Homeworld Wars. Okay, so for you guys out there who aren't familiar with the series is about, basically what we're doing is we're taking a bunch of Homeworld ships, putting them up against each other, telling them to kill each other, and just watching what happens. This is probably one of my favorite series on my channel. I haven't really been uploading these for a while because I've been having some issues with my second computer. For some reason, after like 20 minutes, the Wi-Fi adapter will lose its connection. It doesn't like completely lose its connection, but it loses connection just enough to where it desyncs with the main computer. So when I send all the ships in, I'm like, wait, why is there only 5 ships on my screen, but I see 20 on the other? And so I haven't been able to record that. So this time, we were just using one computer and then using the attack anything command to tell the ships to kill each other. So yeah, I'm hopefully going to be able to get that solved by next week. I'm ordering a new Wi-Fi adapter for that computer to see if it works out. Because this computer I'm currently recording on is Wi-Fi, and I haven't had any issues with it whatsoever. I've been watching Twitch, uploading YouTube videos, talking to my friends, sometimes doing all three at the same time, and I've had no issues whatsoever. So I'm just going to get another Wi-Fi adapter like that and just put it in the other computer. So yeah, hopefully this issue will be resolved next week. But anyways, today we are going to be using Tiidan Assult Frigates, which are high frigates because it's, you know, modded, versus a destroyer, aka an Tiidan Ion Cannon Frigate. We're going to be testing these two ships to kind of see which one is really better. Like I said in the Cataclysm campaign, Ion Cannon Frigates are supposed to be stronger than Assault Frigates, at least when it comes to frigate combat or frigate to like destroyer combat. Assault Frigates are supposed to be mainly for frigate to frigate or frigate to corvette combat because they have 4 turrets that can turn pretty rapidly. But in Cataclysm, they do a lot of damage. They do like 140 damage with their plasma bombs, which is supposed to be their anti-frigate weapon, and then 44 with each one of their turrets, which would be 22 if it wasn't upgraded to energy.
Let's go.
But the Ion Cannon Frigate only does 16 damage. I don't know how this translates into energy damage. I'm assuming because the ion lasts 2.5 seconds, this is damage per second, so that would be probably per ion cannon round like 50 damage. That's just my theory, but I haven't really tried this out. Also, if you see this S6 above our assault frigate, that's because it's using the same mesh as, or the same commands as a high frigate, which means it has drones built in, but they can't use it. If you try to use the drones, the game crashes. But as long as you don't use the drones, you're perfectly fine. Because with making this mod, I kind of realized that all of the different Homeworld Cataclysm ships all have different AI for exactly what the ship is supposed to do. So like for instance, I tried making the Ion Cannon Frigate originally from the multi-beam frigate mesh, and it just ended up just floating around doing nothing because it was using the multi-beam frigate AI. And they only have a weapon in front, they don't have weapons all around each other. But anyways, that's enough talking. In the first matchup, we're just going to have a 1v1 Assault Frigate versus Ion Cannon Frigate, see which one's more powerful. Group 2, or not Group 2, but our second round, we're going to take 5 Assault Frigates and fight them against a Kushan Heavy Cruiser, which has been the Dreadnought. But yeah, that's how you get these ships working in Homeworld Cataclysm. You can't add ships to the build menu, you have to replace them with ships that already exist. And then, sorry about that, Group 3, we're going to do the same thing with Ion Cannon Frigates versus a Heavy Cruiser. Let's see, we're going to take 5 of them and fight a Heavy Cruiser and see which team wins. Now, in Homeworld 1, 4 Ion Cannon Frigates could take down a destroyer. So, I actually probably should improve this up to 10, because I think I was thinking of destroyers. Actually, you know what, we're just going to keep them at 5. I was seriously thinking about upgrading them to 10, but I haven't really tested this in Homeworld Cataclysm. I'm going off of Homeworld 1 data, where 4 Ion Cannon Frigates equals a destroyer, 2 destroyers equals a heavy cruiser, so 8 Ion Cannon Frigates equals a heavy cruiser, theoretically. So we'll just stick with 5, and we'll see what happens. Group 3, or our third battle is going to be 5 ion cannon frigates versus a heavy cruiser. Let's see if that makes a difference. And then our fourth and final battle for today, we're going to have a free-for-all battle between 20 assault frigates, 20 ion cannon frigates, and 5 heavy cruisers. We're going to just have a free-for-all battle and just see what happens. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's go ahead and just start this up and see what the heck happens. Let's see if assault frigate is more powerful than an ion cannon frigate or vice versa.
I'm on it now. I never liked you much anyways.
Roger, command.
Let's go, let's go!
Let's do this.
Warning. Group is taking friendly fire.
I know group is taking friendly fire. I did that on purpose. Yeah, so far it's doing pretty well.
Tide frigate.
And just as my theory predicted, it looks like the assault frigate is more powerful than the ion cannon frigate. That shouldn't be true. So I think ion cannon frigates need a major buff. They should be more powerful than assault frigates. Or assault frigates need a downgrade. This was also before, you know, we had the energy cannons. This was back when we still had normal kinetic cannons. So who knows? Maybe with the energy cannon upgrades, the assault frigate got a lot more powerful. Very, very interesting.
Let's go.
The ion cannon frigate also has less health than the assault frigate. So yeah, whoops, sorry about that. So yeah, it definitely looks like ion cannon frigates are more of a specialized frigate in this version, where your assault frigate is your main ship-to-ship combat type of, or frigate-to-frigate combat vessel, not vehicle.
Let's go.
Very, very interesting. Let's go ahead and speed this up a little bit, because we know this battle is going to take a long time. It's just 1 versus 1. Let's see, 76%, 66%. Huh. So yeah, if these guys didn't have the energy cannon upgrades, these might actually be balanced. Interesting. Very, very interesting. 54. Oh man, we might have to visit this again and try it without any upgrades. Because with all the upgrades we have on right now, the armor level 3, which reduces the amount of damage that they take from energy cannons and whatnot, and the energy cannon upgrade, yeah, we might have to try this again without the energy upgrade. Indeed.
Let's do this.
Okay, our ion cannon frigate is about to die. He's down to 1% health. Our assault frigate's at 33%. So yeah, they're definitely more powerful than the ion cannon frigate. So I still think the ion cannon frigates need a buff. They need to be doing a lot more damage. If they... 2 health left. If they want to survive. This guy has 33% of his health left. Not bad. I do kind of like how much damage the assault frigate does. I think the ion cannon frigates definitely do need a buff. I noticed that when I was playing my campaign, it seemed like the ion cannon frigates just don't do enough damage compared to like destroyers or whatnot. And they specialize in fighting frigate class ships or capital or like destroyer class ships. So they definitely do need a buff. Okay, so with that in mind, we are going to do Group 3 next instead of Group 2, or our third battle next instead of Battle 2. Since the assault frigates were able to kill the ion cannon frigates, I'm curious to see if these guys can kill a heavy cruiser. And then, depending on the data we get from this battle, we'll figure out how much more, or if the assault frigates will actually be able to handle this. So let's go ahead and attack.
I never liked you much anyways.
And you attack these guys. Now, I don't think this is going to be enough to actually kill them. I really don't think it's going to be enough. I think this heavy cruiser is going to annihilate all of our ion cannon frigates. He is attacking like 3 of them at the same time. Which is, I mean, he's got multiple turrets, so it makes sense he can target multiple units at the same time. It's gonna be iffy. 5 might be able to handle this. How much damage do you do? See, you do 21 damage per ion cannon, and then you do 104 per energy cannon. Yeah, these ion cannon frigates need a large buff. This probably needs to be close to 25, maybe 30, maybe even more. No. I'd probably say if this could be boosted up to 25 without them being promoted, it would be a lot better. It should be stronger than the ion cannon on the heavy cruiser.
Is taking friendly fire.
I don't know. Maybe I'm comparing too many things.
Let's do this.
But considering this is its only weapon and it's supposed to be good against frigates, like this is the whole reason why you pick these ships over an assault frigate. Because they're good against frigates and capital ships, where assault frigates are good against frigates and corvette class ships. So yeah, this probably should be raised to about 25. Who knows? Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that adjustment and see how much difference it makes it. So you're at 93%. You've barely even been touched.
Let's go.
We do have. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. He's still only attacking 3 of them, and they're all about equally damaged. So all 3 of them are going to probably die at the same time. Let's go ahead and speed up a little bit.
Taking friendly fire.
Because there's, again, in these small little battles, there's not much really going on. Looks like this first one is really starting to take damage. Nice.
I command.
What's the heavy cruiser on to? 87%? Yeah.
I'm on it.
Iron frigates need a buff. Because I think... Okay, we're about to lose 1.
Let's do this.
And he's dead. So we're down to 4 on the Ion Cannon frigate side. But yeah, I think on Homeworld 1, I'm trying to remember how much damage each ship does. The heavy cruiser does 921 damage. The destroyer does, I think, 300 something damage. And I think the Ion Cannon frigate does like 125. So yeah, these guys definitely need a buff.
Is taking friendly fire.
They need a big buff. I mean, even if the one ion frigate or ion cannon does more damage than, like, let's say, one of the ion cannons on a heavy cruiser, that's perfectly fine. But yeah.
I'm on it.
Oop, we're about to lose our second one. There he goes. He's taking some major damage.
Warning. Group is taking friendly fire.
Okay, down to 3 ion cannons.
Wagon ready.
Heavy cruiser is still at 80.
Ready to move out.
And maybe they made him inferior just to
Taking friendly fire.
just to make a difference between them. Who knows? Okay, you're down to 2. Heavy cruiser. Whoop. I was hitting the wrong button. It's down to 79.
Let's do this.
Go ahead and finish them off, heavy cruiser. There goes the Ion Cannon frigate.
I command.
Destroyer destroyed.
79%. Only took 21% of the hull of the damage to the heavy cruiser. So we'll keep that in mind. We will now go to Group 2, and we will do the same exact thing.
Aye. Preparing to fire.
Battle wagon ready. Are you sure, command?
Let's go, assault frigates. We have a lot more energy weapons flying around now.
Is taking friendly fire.
Definitely looks like they're doing more damage.
Roger. Command.
He's using the same... Actually, he's hitting 4 of them. He's targeting four different ships right now. I think he's also... 2... Indeed. He's only using 2 of his ion cannons for some reason.
Are you sure, Command?
Come on, use all of your weapons. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Why are you not using all of your ions?
Group is taking friendly fire.
Are you sure, Command?
Use all ions. Don't make me make you go aggressive. Yeah, he doesn't want to. He thinks he can win this no problem, so he's not using all of his ion cannons. 2, 3, 4. Now he's using them all.
Tide frigate online.
Well, they got a pretty good advantage.
Tide frigate ready for orders. Roger. Command.
Okay. Let's see what happens with all this firepower going around.
Friendly fire.
Aye, Command.
77, 76, 75.
Warning. Group is taking friendly
We
fire.
have one that's really starting to take some damage. We have a couple that are slowly moving up.
Friendly fire.
Alrighty. Down to 60%. You've already done a lot more damage than the other one. Yeah, those Ion Cannon Frigates definitely need a buff. They are way too weak. They're also... The main reason why I'm complaining so much about it is, one, these assault frigates need to be 15,000 health, not 16,000. The Ion Cannon Frigates need more health because they are more designed to go up against large capital ships. These guys are more designed to go against other frigates. So that's one thing that needs to be changed. And 2, the Ion Cannon Frigates are more expensive, and they're also slower. So their only strength is going against large capital ships, so they need a damage buff. So I might try to play around with that. Who knows? And I might make a small bonus episode trying that out.
Is taking friendly fire.
Who knows?
Tide frigate destroyed.
Alright, so we lost one of our frigates. This dreadnought's down to 45%. This is kind of what I expected from the Ions. And I will stop talking about that because I feel like I keep saying the same thing over and over.
Tide frigate ready for orders.
Wow, these guys might actually kill the heavy cruiser.
Is taking friendly fire.
It would help if the heavy cruiser would use all of its weapons.
Sure, Command.
Stop using just one ion cannon. 2. You're still only using 2 of your ion cannons. Well, whatever.
Tide
Warning.
frigate
Group is
online.
taking friendly fire.
Yep, these guys are going to kill this heavy cruiser.
Is taking friendly fire.
And it's mainly because this heavy cruiser only wants to use 2 of its main weapons, apparently. Instead of all 4 of them.
Friendly fire.
Yep.
Is taking friendly fire.
Well, heavy cruiser, I hope you lived a good life.
Tide frigate
You're going to die from these assault frigates because you refuse to use all of your main weapons. That's funny.
Is taking friendly fire.
Now, there's one thing I kind of wish we could do in this game.
Group is taking friendly fire.
I know you can upgrade your projectile weapons to energy cannons. I wish there was a way we can upgrade the ion cannons to heavy ion cannons. That way, let's just say they'll either double the damage or increase the damage by half. They'll probably increase the damage by half and increase how long that the beams can go on or off. That would be awesome. That would be a good way to balance things out. And
Friendly fire.
bye-bye, heavy cruiser.
Dreadnought destroyed.
You died from 4 assault frigates because you decided to not use all of your weapons. Well, if he did decide to use all his weapons, he probably still would have lost. These assault frigates are very powerful compared to ion frigates. Okay, so keeping that in mind, let's go to our final battle, where are going to have a free-for-all. This one I'm probably not going to speed up as much. I was only speeding up those other ones because those battles do take a long time, and we're trying to get 4 of them through. Plus, we kind of already figured out the gist of it by just watching the battle.
Aye, command.
When we have large battles like this, I tend not to speed up anymore. But anyways, first off, let's kind of figure out which team we want to cheer for.
High frigate online.
You guys put in your comments below of which team you think is going to win. Do you think the Ion Cannon Frigates are going to win? Do you think the Heavy Cruisers are going to win? Or do you think the Assault Frigates are going to win? I think my bet's going to go on the Assault Frigates. Ion Cannon Frigates can't do a whole lot of damage. But I have a feeling that these guys are going to focus on the Ion Frigates. So our Assault Frigates can like dwindle these down and then wipe these guys out when they're done. I don't know if that's actually not going to happen. We're just going to let the AI decide how it's going to kill everything. But that's just kind of my bet. So anyways, let's tell the Assault Frigates to attack.
Preparing to fire.
Tell the Heavy Cruisers to attack. And tell the Ion Frigates to attack.
Never liked you much, anyways.
High frigate.
Is taking friendly fire.
Okay, so it looks like we only have a few Assault Frigates that are attacking the Heavy Cruisers. We have a lot of the Ion Cannon Frigates going up against the Assault Frigates. And only a very small handful going up against the Heavy Cruisers. And the Heavy Cruisers seem to be focusing on the Assault Frigates? So this is looking like the Heavy Cruisers are going to win.
High frigate ready for order.
You're taking a decent amount of damage. It's because you have a few Assault Frigates focusing on you. But if the Assault Frigate team can wipe out the Ion Cannon Frigate team quickly, then hopefully they can have enough numbers to fight the Heavy Cruisers. It's gonna be interesting.
Warning. Group is taking friendly fire.
This guy's not even attacking. He's just sitting here. Well, it's your team, buddy. I'm not giving any other orders. If you don't feel like using all of your weapon, then yeah. That's all I can tell you. So many beams. Ooh. This Assault Frigate is being annihilated by 3 Heavy Cruisers. Heavy Cruisers are actually using all of their weapons.
High frigate destroyed.
So 1 Assault Frigate is our first victim so far. He still seem to be focusing heavily on Assault Frigates. We do have a couple of Assault Frigates focusing on the Heavy Cruisers. Not a whole lot of them, but we do have a few of them focusing on them. And the Ion Cannon Frigates are focusing mainly on Assault Frigates. I think there's like literally, yeah,
Friendly fire.
there's like 3 Ion Cannon Frigates that are focusing on the Heavy Cruisers. So I have a feeling the Heavy Cruisers are going to win this because of that. Looks like our next victim is going to be this Ion Cannon Frigate here. He's being attacked by a lot of different Assault Frigates. He's also not attacking back, because who knows why. Nope, there he is. I think sometimes when you get hit in the mouth or whatnot on an Ion Cannon Frigate, or even an Iron Array Frigate, it sometimes doesn't want to attack back. It's kind of weird. We do have an Assault Frigate here that's starting to take a decent amount of damage. That's also because I think he has a couple of Heavy Cruisers focusing on him. Indeed. Any of the Heavy Cruisers really taking a decent amount of damage? This one right here looks like it's taking the most damage, but it's not that much. We do have an Assault Frigate over here that's taking a decent amount of damage, but that's because some of the secondary guns on these 2 Heavy Cruisers in front of it are focusing on it. I think, yeah, that one has a gun focusing on it too, so he's gonna die shortly. Hey, we got a couple of them in the red now. That's nice. Ion Cannon Frigate here in the red. Got our Assault Frigate over there that's in the red. Indeed. But overall, not a whole lot going on. This guy is about to die. He's being concentrated by this heavy cruiser. So we'll see what this heavy cruiser does next.
Is taking friendly fire.
Hive frigate destroyed. Hive frigate
There he goes.
destroyed.
Alright, and he's focusing on this assault frigate now. So we're down to 17 assault frigates. Not too good. We have a couple, and it's still the same 3 ion cannon frigates focusing on these heavy cruisers. We have 4 assault frigates focusing on these heavy cruisers, and the rest are the other assault frigates that are focusing on the ion cannons.
Hive frigate destroyed.
Yeah, I have a pretty good feeling the heavy cruisers are going to win.
Destroyed.
So we lost an ion cannon frigate finally. We lost 4 assault frigates. And they're just continuing to focus on each other. And now a couple more of our assault frigates are really starting to take some damage. This is very interesting. These are the type of battles I really like to do. I really like watching all these cannons just shoot at each other and then trying to figure out, is this going to be enough firepower to kill this group? Or if they kill this group, are they going to have enough firepower to kill this group? I don't know why. This is the type of battles that always fascinate me. Okay, this guy's about to die. He's being concentrated on like 3 of the ion cannon frigates, or the heavy cruisers. Okay, and they're starting to concentrate more on these assault frigates.
Hive frigate destroyed. Hive frigate.
Now the only problem is these ships can repair themselves, so if they don't really get focused on, they can repair themselves all the way back up, and it'll be even harder to do this. But it really looks like the heavy cruisers are going to win this, because too many of the assault frigates are distracted by the ion cannon frigates. We are doing a decent amount of damage against these guys, though. But we're going to get overwhelmed by this firepower if they don't start banding together to try to do it. Oh, we got so many. We got 4 assault frigates about to die. Wow. So much firepower.
Destroyed.
I still haven't killed the 2 guys I've been concentrating on.
Hive frigate destroyed.
Down to 9 assault frigates. We've only lost...
Hive frigate destroyed.
Well, now we're down to 8. We've only lost 1 of the ion cannon frigates. We're about to lose 1 down here.
Destroyed.
There we go, so we lost 2. That guy's about to die. He was getting concentrated on. So we lost 3 so far. He's gonna die. He's getting concentrated on. The heavy cruisers are being smart and they're concentrating on things that aren't really attacking them.
Hive frigate destroyed.
Wow. We're down to 7 assault frigates. These ion cannon frigates have enough to wipe out the rest of the assault frigates. So it's going to be an ion cannon versus a heavy cruiser war. Now they can still bring this around if they if the heavy cruisers get lazy and don't use all of their weapons. The ion cannon frigates can still bring it around. But so far they look like they're all still using their weapons. I don't know why the other heavy cruiser was so lazy in the last battle. Let's go! Let's go, ion cannon frigates. Show them what you can do. These assault frigates are being annihilated by everything. 3 of the heavy cruisers are focusing on killing the assault frigates. The other 2 are focusing on the ion cannon frigates. That's not a bad mix-up actually. Wipe out the other enemy unit that is being annihilated, and then focus on the rest of the other group. If any of those words actually make sense. Nice beam going over us. That ion cannon frigate kind of missed its mark there a little bit. But we have every single assault frigate damaged except for this one. This one is damaged, but it's not heavily damaged. These two are about to die. It looks like the ion cannon frigates are starting to break off, focusing a little bit more on the heavy cruisers. Good. That's probably not a bad strategy. Here we go. We have 4 hive frigates left. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 7 of the ion cannon frigates focusing on the heavy cruiser now. Got these two guys are extremely weak. This guy decided to turn around and start focusing on the heavy cruiser. Nice. Unfortunately, you were going up against 2 different heavy cruisers, so good luck with that. This ion cannon, for that one's about to die. How many ion cannon frigates are focusing on the other guys now? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. Okay. And assault frigates are out. Now it's just ion cannon frigates and heavy cruisers. We have 15 ion cannon frigates. 2 of them are severely damaged. None of the heavy cruisers are really super damaged yet. This guy is taking some damage, but he's nowhere near dead. I still think the heavy cruisers have this. But now it's pretty much just became a beam war. Yeah, because they're doing a lot of damage against these frigates. We have 3 of them in the red right now. They are doing concentrated fire though. They are focusing primarily on this heavy cruiser here. If they can wipe it out before they lose too many ion cannon frigates, they might be able to pull it around, but I don't think so. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. Yeah, because we're losing ion cannon frigates left and right. There's just too much firepower from all these heavy cruisers to really make up for the lack of ion cannon frigates. If these guys stood a chance, they would have had to team up with the assault frigates to try to destroy these heavy cruisers, but they didn't. They decided to take the assault frigates head on, and in the meantime, the heavy cruisers were slowly weakening them and weakening the assault frigates at the same time. So there was nothing they could really do. They lost this battle. They might be able to take 1 heavy cruiser out, but I don't know if they're going to. I think they're doing concentrated fire, though. It's hard to really tell. No, they're doing concentrated fire, all except for this guy who's attacking that one. He's being a rebel. So if everyone keeps focusing on this heavy cruiser, they might be able to do it, because a lot of their ion cannon frigates still have a decent amount of health. So they might be able to take 1 down with them. But after that one's dead, I don't think they're going to have the firepower to take on anymore. I really don't. I don't think it's going to happen. Ooh, he's on fire, so he's definitely taking a decent amount of damage. So we definitely probably can be able to defeat this guy as long as we keep concentrating our fire. The heavy cruisers do so much damage, and these ion cannon frigates do so little damage. You know, I might bring this battle back and give the ion cannon frigates a buff and then see if they can actually do it. Now again, it just depends on what the AI wants to do on when I tell them to attack each other. If they do the same thing that they did now, we probably will still lose against the heavy cruisers. But if they decide to go against the heavy cruisers instead of attacking the assault frigates and wipe the heavy cruisers out first and then fight the assault frigates, then they might actually win. But definitely is possible.
Group 4 is taking friendly fire.
Also, one thing I should have did when we did the assault frigate versus ion frigate, figure out how much damage an ion frigate does. Well, we probably could figure it out now. Is any of the ion cannon frigates, you know, being a rebel and not attacking the target? Nope, they're all actually still attacking this target. So we gotta wait until we get down to 1. I think. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. Yep, they're all attacking this target.
Destroyed.
I mean, we could probably figure it out. 17. No, we have to wait till we get down to 1.
Warning, group is taking friendly fire.
I'm on it.
Which would be momentarily. Both of these are about to die. Okay, and we'll figure out how much damage each ion cannon does. Okay. You're dead.
Destroyed.
You're dead.
Destroyed.
Alright, let's see.
Battle wagon.
405, 505.
Destroyed.
It didn't tack in time. Okay. Well, anyways, the heavy cruisers have won. That is nice. Amazing. We totally expected this once the frigates and the assault frigates attacked each other. But let's go back to base real quick because I want to know how much damage one of these ion cannon frigates do. Now again, everything has armor level 3, so it's going to have damage resistances against ions. But
Worker ready. Let's do this.
let's go ahead and tell you to attack you.
Too much anyways. Worker
Let's
ready.
get a pretty good estimate of how much damage this would actually do. So we got 3,300 health. Once the ion cannon frigate gets close enough, and he actually hits the target. Green pilots. Does 172 damage.
Crank it up.
Okay. And 172 damage is not near enough damage because our you can
Let's do
stop
this.
attacking. Just move up.
Fire up the engines.
Because you
Frigate.
do 44, 88, 176 plus 170 or 140. You do 316 damage. You do 316, you do 172, which is probably 200 without the armor. Yeah,
Roger.
that's why you're so much more powerful. So ion frigates definitely need a buff up compared to these guys. But anyways, that's going to do it for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope you enjoyed the little carnage and the little play around that we did with these frigates and heavy cruisers. If you did, please leave a like. If you like what I do, consider subscribing. And I will check you guys out in the next video. But until then, this is Captain Soban signing out.
Attention fleet. Makan has found Valcora Gate. The coordinates are 1134489.
We'll send everything we've got, but be advised, we are a mining vessel. It would be best if we did not have to move directly into the main battle.